All glories to Rupi Mataji. Give her a big round of applause. That's so nice. So good. Thank you so much, Mataji. So graceful, blissful. Thank you so much.
Why?
So, we will read from Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 8, shloka number 23.
23? Big book 3.
Shloka number 8, chapter 8, shloka number 23. Okay, let's recite. Yatra kale tvanavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginaha prayadayanti tam kalam vakshyami bharadarshabha yatra kale tvanavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginaha prayadayanti tam kalam vakshyami bharadarshabha yatra kale tvanavrittim avrittim chaiva yoginaha prayadayanti tam kalam vakshyami bharadarshabha. Prabhus, Matajis, please go ahead.
Yatra kale tvanamritam avritam chaiva yoginah prayata yanti takalam vakshami bharatarshabha.
Yatra kale tva anvrittam avrittam chaiva yoginah prayata yanti tam kalam vakshyami bharadarshabha.
Yatra kale tva anavrittam avrittim chaiva yoginah prayata yanti tam kalam vakshami bharatarshabha.
यत्र काले त्वनावृत्तिम्
यत्र काले त्वनावृत्तिम्
आवृत्तिं चैव योगिनः
आवृत्तं चैव योगिनः
प्रयाता यान्ति तत्कालम्
प्रयाता यान्ति कालम्
वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभ
वक्ष्यामि भरतर्षभः.
Okay. Word by word meaning. Yatra,
Yatra,
at which,
at which,
kale, time,
time,
to,
and,
anavrittim,
anavrittim,
no return,
no return,
avrittim,
avrittim,
return,
return,
cha, also, eva, certainly, yoginah, different kinds of mystics,
different kinds of mystics,
prayataha,
prayataha,
having departed, yanti, attained, tam, that, kalam, time, vakshyami, I shall describe, Bhartarashabha, O best of the Bharata. Translation of about by His Divine Grace, Sabhe Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Please repeat the translation. O best of the Bharatas,
O best of the Bharata,
I shall now explain to you
I shall now explain to you
the different times at which,
the different times at which,
passing away from this world,
passing away from this world,
the yogi does
yogi does
or does not come back.
or does not come
I
back.
repeat one more time. O best of the Bharatas,
O best of the Bharata,
I shall now explain to you
I shall now explain to you
the different times at which,
the different
different
times
times at which,
passing away from this world,
passing away from this world,
the yogi does
the yogi does
or does not come
or
back.
does not come back.
Purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. The unalloyed devotees of the Supreme Lord, who are totally surrendered souls, do not care when they leave their bodies or by what method. They leave everything in Krishna's hands and so easily and happily return to Godhead. But those who are not unalloyed devotees and who depend instead on such methods of spiritual realization as Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga and Hatha Yoga must leave the body at a suitable time in order to be sure of whether or not they will return to the world of birth and death. If the yogi is perfect, he can select the time and situation for living this material world. But if he is not so expert, his success depends on his accidentally passing away at a certain suitable time. The suitable times at which one passes away and does not come back are explained by the Lord in the next verse. According to Acharya Baladev Vidyabhushana, the Sanskrit word kala used herein refers to the presiding deity of time. Om Tat Sat. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadadi Swapadambikam Vandeham Shri Guroho Shri Tapamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsya Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaidam Savadudam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lilita Shri Vishakam Vidamsa He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpade Gopesha Gopika Kanda Radha Kanda Namastuti Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusude Devi Pranamami Haripriye Panchakalpatarubhyascha Privasandubhya Gaja Paripanam Pavanebhyo Vishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Mukam Karoti Vacharam Angam Lange Giram Yuktapadaham Vande Shri Gurum Dinataram Paramantamadham Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So this shloka, in this chapter, Krishna is actually talking about, so far he was talking about the difference between the spiritual and the material worlds. And one more one more factor is there. Apart from the spiritual and material world, there is one more living entity. Krishna has already mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Now, Krishna starts explaining about the process or the way by which a person goes back to different destinations, or a person is leaving his body. If you remember, in the beginning of this chapter, Arjuna asked 7 questions, and one of the questions was like, what happens to a person once who leaves his body, or like how he leaves his body. So he was a little curious about the leaving of the body. Now, what is the leaving of the body means? Leaving the body means what? Death.
Transmigration.
So here, Krishna is started explaining. Krishna is saying like, Pravakshami, I shall now explain to you different times at which passing away of this from this world, and the yogi does or does not come back. Now that's an information. Every point of Bhagavad Gita, we get some kind of information. What is the new information we are getting here from Bhagavad Gita?
Does not come back.
Okay, that is one thing. What is the second information?
So there are both situations. People might take rebirth, people might not come back.
Okay, there is one key point here. I just want to catch that.
The difference between the devotees and the non-believers. Like
Okay.
devotees don't care when they leave this
Yes.
world.
Right. But that's not there in the translation, that's given in the purport. But I'm just looking at the translation.
There is some specific time of that.
They can choose the time.
They can choose this time.
Destinations.
Okay, that's again in the purport, not in the translation. That's I'm glad that everybody has actually really focused on the purport. That is one good thing. Thank you. One thing which I'm looking, one key word which is used in the translation.
Yogi.
Yogi, there you go. There you go.
Got it.
So this one is not talking about anybody else, the yogi. Very important. Because yoginaha is what is being used. So this going, go does or does not come back is specifically talking about the yogis, right? So then the question arises, then what happens to
Others.
others, right?
Right.
Others are not even mentioned in Bhagavad Gita.
They don't count.
They are not even count. Okay, now the question comes, okay, what happens to others? That Krishna is actually talking towards the end. When it comes to the 9th chapter, that is when Krishna is actually talking about the others. Apiche sudurajaru bhajade mamananyabha. That's when. This one, when you are actually talking about the yoga, when you are actually talking about the Ashtanga yoga, the Dhyana yoga, Krishna don't touch others. Because others are not eligible. Not even get to that realm. But don't take Krishna wrongly here, because we cannot touch there, because we have to be a yogi in order to qualify either to go or come back. Others are just counted as normal human beings who are just dying, right? Human beings, the people who are ordinary beings, they said that they simply die. When they are elevated people, what they will do? They leave the
Body.
body. That's the difference. When we are actually talking about the acharyas, we don't say that the acharya has actually died. What we say? He disappeared,
Yeah.
right? Tirobhav. Or they left their body.
Transmigrated. Prabhu was saying.
They actually, wound up their pastimes.
Yeah.
That's what we actually talk about, the great acharyas talk about. So here, Krishna is actually talking about what are the different ways by which a person will go, and now I'll explain. That's all this purport, this sloga is having. I don't have anything more to say. And I am just thinking what should we speak about them today? Couple things I wanted to mention. One is a good point which others mentioned. Prabhu, I think you mentioned, is like the difference between the devotees and the yogis. So you have to be very careful when you are actually leaving this place. That's what is mentioned in here. Why? Even if you are a yogi, when you are actually doing the yoga, and you should be perfecting the yoga practice. And when you perfect the yoga practice is when you will be able to choose the time when you should be leaving the body. Now in the following verses, Krishna says what are the times in which you are leaving the body? You will go to the upper planets, or you will go into the not lower.
Choice of your
Out of the
destination.
cycle. Out of the
No,
cycle.
out of the cycle. It will go to the spiritual world, right? So that destination you can determine by choosing what time you are leaving, and that kind of control, that kind of a capacity, that kind of a mystic power a yogi will have. You know, I think we have discussed in the 6th chapter, wherein a yogi can actually control the prana, and the prana will actually he can drive the prana through the
Nine dollars.
through the kundalini shakti, and through the sushumna nadi he can actually bring
To the top.
the prana. And when this sushumna nadi, what is sushumna nadi? Sushumna nadi is like a nerve. We can just imagine just like a nerve. It actually goes right through the spine, all the way to the top of your head,
Brahmarandra.
right? And if you can actually able to successfully drive this prana, it's just like have you seen in circus like what is that called, Prabhu? No, juggling with the balls, you know? And then he's juggling, how carefully he juggles with the ball, right? And while he was juggling with the ball, he'll get into an uneven place or something wherein he balances himself while he was juggling. It's just like that. Kshurasya dhara nishita duratyaya. It's extremely difficult for a yogi to control that. Just imagine.
Very mind.
We actually, control the prana, and it actually drives this prana through different chakras. No? And different chakras, it actually breaks open, and finally he brings his chakra or the prana to the topmost chakra. This is called Sahasrara Padma.
Brahmarandra.
That is something called itself Brahmarandra. And from here he actually, leaves the prana. And that's when he will be able to go to the, leaves this material world. That's what it is said. And you can imagine how, just like, I was just giving an example of like how he was actually juggling with the balls. He's extremely careful and extremely skillful. Same way the yogi has to be perfectly skillful in bringing to that condition. And when he is able to bring that condition, he will be able to achieve this position of, he can decide when to leave this world or not, right? And then in the future verses, we will decide, like, or we will see rather, what are the timings, like, when the yogi is actually leaving the body, when the sun is traveling north, when the sun is traveling south, when there is night, when there is day, what are different day times in which the yogi will be able to attain the perfection. All these kind of different things are there that we will see. But one thing Srila Prabhupada mentions here is that for a devotee, this is not a matter. This is not even a problem for a devotee. Why? Does the devotee have to do this juggling thing? No. Does the devotee have to control his prana and then make sure that we don't even know what a kundalini is, right? We don't know what is a sushumna nadi is. We don't know we have a spine or not. Forget about sushumna nadi and all these kind of things. We don't have to care. We don't have to care about all these things. Why? Why?
Krishna will take us.
Krishna will take us, okay. Any more answers?
We have a VIP pass.
We have a VIP pass, very good answer. Very good
It's a
answer.
byproduct. Liberation is a byproduct.
Liberation is a byproduct, yes, okay. Yes. Mataji's Prabhus, speak out.
Devotees, they don't prefer to get liberation, no?
They don't prefer to get liberation? Yes. Okay, that's a good answer, yes. We don't have to do all these things. Why?
You're happy in Krishna's service.
Because we want to do birth after birth, we want to serve him.
Yes, I'm looking for one particular answer.
Chanting will help us.
Chanting will help us. That is the thing. Right? Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. All the Shaktis, all the powers, all the mystic things are put in one thing, which is chanting. So it is said that the yogi who is actually trying to get out of this material world, what are they trying to do? They just want to get out of this material world, right? That's what the yogis are trying to do. They just found that this material world is too difficult a place to live. This material world is, what is that? Brahma Satyam, Jagat Mithya. What is truth is Brahma. Brahma means the absolute truth. What Jagat Mithya means, whatever I am seeing is false. That means I am actually seeing this person sitting in front of me, he is false. What I am seeing, oh, this building, this is false. Everything is false. And whatever it is, truth is the absolute.
Actually, the word is correct. Temporary or
Illusion, right?
Hmm?
Illusion, the word.
Word, yeah, mithya,
Mithya.
is false, is illusion, right? So that's what they actually think, and that's what they wanted to get out of this place, wherein everything here is false. Which is this is fine, because that's also a authorized school of dharma. We cannot say that this is not authorized, but we don't follow that. Why? Because we follow a much more lower syllabus. Have you heard about different syllabuses? There is a state syllabus, there is a CBSE syllabus, there is an ICSE syllabus. So CBSE syllabus is supposed to be like very tough, you know, and state syllabus is comparatively. I don't. Do you have in Kerala? We have, but do you have in other
Yeah.
states?
I know what you're saying.
Right.
and syllabus also there.
Yeah. So Kerala syllabus you can manage, you know, somehow. But if you are in CBSE syllabus, you're same thing. But end of the day, you're actually getting a degree which actually qualifies you to become an engineer or a doctor or whatever. So this also is a different school of thought, different school of philosophy, a different school of dharma, wherein it actually brings you out of this material world. But the school which we are studying, or the school of bhakti school, that's where we will be given an opportunity to take the most easiest path and achieve the most highest destination. The bhakti school will actually help us to take the most easiest path and achieve the highest destination. You know, and why is that? Because that is the most, what is that called, privileged time and age we are in right now. We are the most privileged. We are in the most privileged time and age. Now, why you say that we are the most privileged people?
So, it's a golden era in the Kali Yuga.
Golden era in the Kali Yuga, yes.
Just by name,
So we got the
just by
Mahamaya.
taking the names.
Just by taking the names, yeah.
Because we have a wisdom to, we are the only human race, is the only race which can think and act with to raise the consciousness.
Human beings were always there. But I was talking about this particular Kali Yuga. Sorry, I didn't mention about Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga is, this particular Kali Yuga is where it is actually, this kind of privilege was not there in the other yugas. Not even in Satya Yugas. Right?
Prabhu, we got
But
the
in,
holy name.
we got a holy name. Right? That's what I was trying to say. So when people in the Kali Yuga, Lord saw that people in the Kali Yuga were actually struggling. They had no hope. They have no hope whatsoever. They are not able to properly sit and chant. They are not able to focus their mind. They are not able to perform any yoga practices. They are not able to perform any austerities.
Study the Shastras.
They are not able to understand the Shastras. They have no qualifications whatsoever. So then, what is the way for us to come out of this place? Okay, what is the way out? That's when,
Hare Krishna.
that is when the Lord Himself has come down in the form of Harinam. You know, the Lord is called as Harinam Prabhu. In all the Shastras, it is said that the easiest way by which you can go back home, even just forget about when we say home, we say that it is Vrindavan or Vaikuntha. But whatever it is, the home is, right? Whether it is the heavenly planets wherein the Holy Father is sitting, wherever there is the Allah, whatever we are calling, the Supreme Lord who is sitting. The names are different, but the entity is one. The main thing is, it's mentioned that, okay, you take the name, you glorify Him, you know, you praise Him. You say, have you heard praise the Lord?
Yep.
What does that mean? Glorify Him, you know, praise the Lord. What's that meaning? Hosanna means glories of the Lord, right? Same thing with the other Judaism, other Abrahamic religions. Everyone actually follows the same thing. Only one thing, which is chanting the holy name of the Lord. And when you are chanting, it's actually taking you back to God. And why chanting?
Hare Nama, Hare
Why
Nama.
chanting? Yes, but why chanting?
It's a traditional sign word.
Yes.
Your focus.
Most easiest way. That is the important thing. Most easiest way. Can you tell me any other easiest way than chanting other than eating? Even for getting sleep, we are struggling, right? Chanting is the most easiest way. Anybody can chant. Now the question asks, like, okay, what about a person who cannot speak? Right? He can also chant. Right? In the mind. Right? Anybody can chant. Anybody. Right? Tatra vida niyamida smaranena kala. There is no time, place, circumstance, barrier for chanting of the holy name. Everybody can chant. Right? That is the most easiest method. So what I say, why I say we are the most privileged people? Because we have given the most easiest method. Nobody can say no to this chanting. Can anybody say an excuse why you should not be chanting? Give me one reason why you should not be chanting. Let's go ahead. What is the reason I cannot chant? If I ask you to do reading the book, you will say that, Prabhu, I'm having a short-sightedness, long-sightedness. Prabhu, my eyes don't work in the night. Prabhu, the moment I'll take the book, I'll start sleeping. So many things will come. If I ask you, okay, Prabhu, can you actually do some austerities? Then 100 things will come. So many things will actually comes as a excuse for not to do that. But when it comes to chanting, we don't have any excuse whatsoever. That's why the Lord has actually given us the most easiest way by which you can achieve the greatest destination, which is chanting of the holy name. Okay? And that's the privilege which I was talking about. Here, the one topic which I wanted to focus is Prayana Kale. Sorry, which is one? Prayatayanditam Kalam. I want to just focus on that one topic, which is Krishna is actually henceforth speaking in the next few words. Krishna is actually talking about the transmigration of this body, which is we call as death. So before we speak about death, I know it is not a pleasant topic. Some of us don't want to hear about death, but this is a very critical, rather very important topic, which is vital for our path of exploration in the spirituality. If you don't want to explore the spiritual path, then it's fine. We can just ignore it. But then when you're actually a spiritual student, when you're actually trying to understand the whole mechanism behind the human existence, how the whole thing is working. See, part of the spirituality, what is books, scriptures are talking about, is about what are we, what are the different aspects of our living, what is surrounding us, what actually keeps us moving. All these things we will get to know. And if you know that, that's when you will get to know a complete picture of our existence. And if you don't know the complete picture of our existence, then there is no goal for our life. Is that true, bro? When we understand about ourselves, that's when we will come to know, okay, what is my goal? Somebody was actually telling that, okay, getting a human life, that is the greatest fortune or greatest luck. Can anybody tell why human life is considered to be the most, special or the most important or more significant among all the livings, all the lives?
We have so many senses. We can speak, we can hear.
An animal is also having other senses. Like, say, for example,
We can change the name, holy name.
we can chant the holy name. Can a parrot chant the holy name? Yeah. So yes, so that there you go. So parrot can also
I
chant.
think
the
we
holy
can
name.
elevate
Intelligence.
We have intelligence. Oh wow, that's great. Have you seen a cuckoo making a nest? Cuckoo is making a nest with his beak.
much better.
With your 2 hands and 2 legs,
Can do.
can you make a nest like that? Now, don't you think that creating a what neck? Nest requires intelligence? Intelligence is also there for animals.
When we are in human form only, we can realize the law.
When you are in the human form, I need some more simpler answers.
After many living many other living being form, we get the form of the human life.
That's fine, but then what is so special about human being? Why it is called the most refined, most the topmost living species of
Is this the last opportunity for us to
Connect with the
get out of the cycle of life?
Very
right?
good answer. This is the one opportunity,
Yes.
not the last, but one opportunity,
One opportunity.
right? To
Get out of the
get out of this
cycle
material
of-
world.
Yes.
And the second, I'm looking for one particular answer.
So you can elevate the high consciousness
Yes,
with to do
I'm
that.
looking for one answer. I mean, all the answers are right, but I'm just trying to pick that one thing. Moksha, yes, yes. Moksha is also tying back to Prabhu's answer. Humans can do one thing, which is
Have got the 6 sense, no? By that, they can
that sixth sense. Yeah, that's okay. But I'm just looking for a very basic answer.
This is only one opportunity after 8.4 million species to
Yes.
go back to Godhead
Yeah.
and realize Krishna consciousness.
Yes, which is pretty much what Prabhu said.
Yeah.
Humans, we can chant, but as I said, others can also. Humans are the only one who can ask questions.
Hello,
I was asking you.
मैं ही human being.
I'm not saying like
I'm the only human being.
so far Sami Prabhu is the one who is asking questions.
Yes.
So that means he's the only human being.
Yeah.
Hari bol. They pushed me to the back seat.
You lost the chance.
It is said that
You lost
only
the
human
chance.
beings ask questions.
You lost the chance, man.
Actually, the Vedas says that adhado Brahma Jignasa. The
Yes.
Brahma Jignasa, the inquisitiveness, only comes in
Human.
human beings.
Wow.
A donkey will actually carry the load for his entire lifetime.
Hmm.
Never a day will he will stand back and say that why am I bearing the load for just. And end of the day, what will this person, this dhobi wala will give? A little bit of grass. He will not. Wait a minute. There's a lot of grass there hereby. Why am I just carrying this load? He never asked that question. Only human being asks the question of why am I living this? Who am I? Why am I living this life? Why the things are so much difficult for me? Why the world is behaving like that? What are the different things which actually drives me? What are the things which actually drives the whole cosmos? This question only a human being can ask.
He asked about the family tree. Who are my forefathers?
Huh.
Dog will not ask.
No, I mean, forefathers is a very simple question, but the questions which we talk about is usually much more higher standards or sublime.
Yeah, family tree. Yeah.
So that's when, when we come to the human beings, that's when this life is very precious, right? And to understand these things, what is our life and what is death, to question what is death. And most important question is how can I come out of death? Once we understand the complexity of death, the question will arise, how can I? Like for example, if you just go to a doctor, and doctor say that, okay, you have got some stomach problem, then the next question we will ask, what is the solution? Okay, give me some solution, right? Same way, once you start understanding this, that's when we will come to know there is a solution for that. Unless and until there is no solution. And unless and until we get a solution, what will happen? We will keep on,
Anxiety.
Cycle.
we will keep on dying. Right? Do you understand what I mean? You keep on dying means what?
Taking birth again.
Birth again and keep on dying. So just wanted to quickly understand like what is this death, you know, a little bit more deep, taking the references from the Shastras. So as we know, the body which we have is the carrier of the
Soul.
soul. So what is sitting inside this body?
Soul. Super soul.
Everybody agree?
Soul, super soul.
Everybody agree that there is a soul sitting inside the body?
Yeah.
Anybody disagree? There are two?
Two souls. Two
Oh,
souls.
Prabhu said that there is two birds. I didn't hear any sound from inside. Did anybody heard any sound from the birds from inside?
Watching you all the time.
Yeah, Prabhu is actually taking a reference from the Upanishads where he's saying like there are two birds. This is a symbolic representation of Atma and Paramatma sitting inside. Very good answer. But essentially, this body is being used by the
Soul.
soul.
Carry itself.
And we are all
Separate, unique
We are all
souls. Unique souls.
souls.
Yes.
That is the first thing Bhagavad Gita talks. That's the first thing Bhagavad Gita teaches us, that we are dehinosmin
not body.
yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatrana mohyati. Right? A person who will not get bewildered by the birth and death of this body, because the body is not the big thing. The person who is sitting inside the body is the bigger thing. Dehi. One is called Deha. Deha means
Body.
and Dehi is the one who is actually, like for example, I'm actually wearing this kurta. Who is wearing this kurta? Me. This body is wearing the kurta. And this kurta is only useful as long as this body is wearing it. Same way, this body is the kurta of soul. And the moment this kurta becomes dirty and torn and not useful, what will I do?
You take a new kurta. Throw
What
it
will I
and take a
do?
new-
Change.
Put a new
Take
kurta.
a throwing of this kurta, which is called this body, and taking a new one is called, simple terms, death.
Death and
Vasamse jirnani yata vihaya, Bhagavad Gita says. That is as simple as death. The moment body become useless, when the body actually started not functioning, when the body is actually having a situation wherein it is not able to take the soul anymore in this material world, in interaction with this material elements, that's when the soul will actually leave this body. When the soul leaves this body, that's when we will actually come across a situation called
Death.
death. Right? Bhagavad Gita actually talks that. So,
Prabhuji, is the time of this death is predestined? Or is it because of your own actions and reactions that you do with the body? For example, you are wearing a kurta. If you don't care of the kurta, it can torn faster.
yeah.
Or is it already predetermined that your kurta will be torn in 10 years?
See, the thing is, like it is mentioned that the time of your existence is predestined,
Okay.
right? And the predestination is also aligned with the karma which you actually perform, which you carry.
Past life,
Past life,
not this life.
not this life,
Okay.
right? So whatever you are actually carrying, that sanjita karma, that will actually is, and based on that is what you will actually give the time frame by which you can actually live this many years in this life.
But that can be altered.
Now, this can be altered by doing one thing, by changing your karma, which is by devotional service.
Yep.
Now, obvious question comes, what happens to suicide? Right? What happens to suicide? That means I'm actually taking out. Suicide is actually as simple as breaking the law. Suicide is actually like breaking the law. So, like for example, you are actually supposed to live for, let's say, 80 years. Now you're suiciding in the 50th year or whatever. That means you still have to live in this material world for another 30 years. And you are living in this material world, but the only difference is that you won't have a body. You will be in the subtle body, and you will be living in this material world. And living in the subtle body is the most painful situation.
Yeah.
It's the most painful situation. You know, and that's what the Shastras always say, never, ever, ever think about, not commit, think about suicide. Right? Committing is a different thing, but not even think about suicide. because it's the most severe punishment, because you're breaking the law, not of the government, but the breaking the law of nature.
But
The
now,
moment you are breaking the law of nature, the punishment is severe, extremely severe. So you should not be.
The fact that a person is committing suicide, is that not predestined?
Well, that can be said like that, but it's not exactly like that. See, we all have that free will. Remember we talked about that free will? We are wrongly utilizing that free will, and then we are actually getting out of that. So in a way, but the factors which actually driving you towards that is that. But that decision is not the predestined. That decision is yours.
but now the government has passed the law, the doctors,
Mm.
the people who are suffering and they cannot die,
Mm.
and they give them injection to die
Mm.
because they make a choice that they want to die.
That is not suicide.
No, that's not suicide, but that's also because they have a lifestyle
Yes.
and they cut it, right?
Yeah, yes. But no, that's not a suicide, Madhavi. But that is their life is only destined till that time. We see that okay, their life is cut, but it's not like
That
that.
is to reduce the suffering of that person.
Yeah.
No. But even then, we see that okay, this person would have lived for another 5 more years. But no, as long as he is not taking his life by himself,
Yeah.
the arrangement is made so that his life is taken earlier, but his life is only till that time period.
But in our karma, it was suffering was there, but we cut it off. So we have to finish that suffering
Where?
in the life.
Which example you're talking about? Taking out the life support?
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to say. We are not actually, the individual person is not actually making the decision. As long as he is not making the decision, it is not his free will. So the punishment will not come to him. That means he is only destined. See, everything is being destined, predestined and come with that prabhu. Like for example, let's say that person, the life support was taken out at the age of, let's say,
Karma is finished.
let's say he's been life support is taken out at the age of 85, I suppose, and we were thinking that okay, he will be living for 1 more year, 86. But no, the life support has to be taken out of 85, or he has to leave his body at the age of 85, and taking out the life support has become one of the reason of getting out of his body. You see what I'm trying to say? So it's not that we have taken out, we have become an instrument to take out that life at the age of 85, because his life is only destined till 85, which makes us we will be thinking I am the person who is actually making the decision of pulling the wire. No, yes, you are pulling the wire, but you have become instrumental in pulling the wire at the right time. You see what I'm trying to say? But suicide is not like that. Suicide comes completely on us, right? Because we make a decision of when we are actually taking on this one, and that is why it is actually come with a punishment, a severe punishment.
So when a person dies naturally as opposed to committing suicide,
Mm.
what is the difference? Where does the soul?
Okay, that's what we are actually going to say. So when a person is actually leaving his body, it is said that I'm not talking about devotees. Okay, about devotees we will be talking about in the next few verses. When a normal person, when he is actually leaving the body, we talk about this prana, right? This prana will escape from one of the 9 holes of our body, right? One of the 9 holes. Mostly it will actually coming out of our mouth. Mostly, and that's what people mostly actually have their open mouth. Mostly this life air comes out of the mouth. Now when they actually gets out of this body, when what actually comes out of this body is the soul, along with your subtle body. What is your subtle body? What are your subtle bodies?
Mind, intelligence, and both ego.
What is your gross body?
Panchabhuta.
The body which is made of 5 elements. What are the 5 elements? Somebody from the back. Water, fire, ether, then air, and these are fire. Water, earth, water, fire, ether, and air. So this body is made up of this Panchabhuta, 5 elements. And inside the body, there is 3 more elements which we call as subtle. The one which we see, we are able to touch, we are able to experience is called gross. And there are 3 more elements which is inside our body, which is called subtle. And these 3 subtle elements are called our mind, intelligence, and false ego. These 3. So what comes out of this body when this body is useless is that this gross body, these gross elements, will go out and merge with the elements of the earth. That's what we say, that when we are actually leaving this body, we give this body to the elements. That's what, according to Sanatana Dharma, normally, according to Sanatana Dharma, we put the body to the fire, so that the fire element will actually take this body, because we are giving it back. Remember, it's not ours. This has been given by the nature to us. So we give this thing back to the nature. Sometimes, some people will actually bury. And when you're actually burying the body, what you're actually doing, you're actually giving this body to the earth. Right? So, same way. Now, once this body has been given, this body is useless. Now, what is remaining is
subtle bodies
and the soul. So far, so good?
Yeah.
So now, these 4 parties, these people, or rather, this soul and these 3 are being taken by somebody. Yeah. It won't go alone. The moment it's actually free, it is being taken to the court. It has been taken to the... Again, I'm not talking about the devotees. Devotees is a completely different thing which we will discuss later. For a regular normal person, once this person is leaving this body, is actually taken for judgment. Right? And it is said that the person who is actually doing this judgment, his name is Yamaraj. He is living on the lowest planet called Patal Lok. Right? So he's sitting on the lowest. There are, there are 7 planetary systems upward, 7 planetary systems downwards, right? And the lowest planetary system is called Patal Lok. And the person who is residing there, or who is there, is Yamaraj. Yamaraj will actually have a book of statement of all his things which he has done.
In this life.
In this life. And then there is one assistant of Yamaraj, his name is Chitragupta. And these are all like not comedy characters, these are all real characters. Because we made Chitragupta and Yamaraj as such a comedy character that we think that okay, these are all like caricatures, namuna. It's not like that. They are all real characters. They are all mentioned in the Puranas, especially in the Garuda Purana. In the Garuda Purana it is mentioned. In the Atharva Veda and the Garuda Purana, this is mentioned.
So they have account in your name, like this particular world name, or
you are having an ID, just like
there's an ID, soul ID, like a microchip.
Exactly.
Okay.
It's very advanced, Prabhu.
Okay.
It's very advanced.
So they just scan you, that's it, everything.
Absolutely.
Okay.
See, in this current, talking about technology, in this current world itself, there is technology, right?
Yeah.
Everything is technology.
Microchip,
If you just look around, everything is technology. Sunlight, how sun is actually creating this much energy without no reactor inside. Technology. Right? Just how we are actually putting a seed of a tomato to the soil, and the tomato will actually grow up, taking the energy from the sun, doing the photosynthesis, creating a flower. From the flower there is a fruit coming up. A fruit is actually supposed to be gone to the stomach of an animal, like a cow or a whatever. And then he will eat it, and then the seeds will come out with the manure, and the manure will go to the soil along with the seed. That will become a perfect place for another plant to go up. Technology, bro.
Yeah.
Right?
Nature.
Excellent technology. Just look around. It's called Adishayam. Adishayam means, what is that called? Fascinating. Right? So that is how it's been. This particular personality, the soul, is being put into justification to ask what all things he has done. Now, traveling of this person from this place to this lowest planet, 7 loka, will take normally 11 to 16 days. 11 to 16 days, right? And that is when normally people will observe certain rituals during this period. You know why? Because when this soul is being taken out there, the people, the relatives and the friends It is their utmost duty to do the most pious and holy things for the safest journey and the safest destination of the person. Same way, like for example, if like say Arumar Prabhu is actually going to let's say India, right? And then he is just visiting his parents. So then what we will give? We will give the nice things, like say we will give him some sweets, we will give some nice gifts and everything, so that we will actually, he will take his home, right? So that he can give to his parents. Same way, the relatives, the sons, the daughters, the parents or the relatives, whoever it is, what they will do, they will actually perform this holy rites during that 11 to 16 days. So that this journey. Now what happens during this journey is that the Purana says, the Garuda Purana says, why we are actually doing is that in order to increase the piety of this person as much as possible. Why? To increase the
Piety.
To increase the piety means what? You understand what is a piety?
Increase the good deeds.
Increase the good deeds. Increase
In that
the good
account
deeds.
book.
Right? And that is what is extremely important, that when you're actually, somebody has left their body, we should be, one thing, should be talking good about that person. Should never, ever, ever talk bad about that person. Publicly or internally. Oh, good that he has gone. You know, he owe me $1,000. You know what he has done to me that day? Oh, don't do that. Don't do that. You know, even if you this, because this is the one thing which you can actually do to the person. One good thing. Glorifying that person. Oh, he was such a nice person. Have you seen people? That is our culture. Have you seen people be going to a house or a funeral? People start talking good about it. That is our culture, which we don't know why they are doing. But the real thing is, we should be glorifying that person, even if it is not real. But the thing is that it will add his piety. Most important thing we should be doing, that we should be praying, offering prayers to the Lord. We should be offering prayers in this name of the soul to the Lord, that please help him, please give him a good destination, please forgive him for this thing. It is said that when we are actually doing this thing, whatever things which is carrying is this baggage, the baggage of karma which is having, that will actually get diluted a little bit, right? Now, when the person is actually reached there, and most importantly for devotees, just for our information, when we hear that somebody has actually passed away, the best thing we should be all doing is that we should be chanting the holy name for him. Very, very important. Very, very important. If you're actually chanting the holy name and that's what we do. When we hear that, okay, somebody has actually passed away, we dedicate that chanting. We sit and chant here, right? Every end of the day program, we sit and chant here. That's what we do. We sit and chant for that soul so that he will be giving a good destination, right? And most importantly, if possible, if you are a relative, even if you are not a relative, please read Srimad Bhagavad Gita chapter 15 and 12. Chapter 15 and 12, right? If it is possible, you can read that. If it is possible for the 10 days or 16 days, that is best, because that's great. So just keep that in mind. If somebody passes away, your relatives or God forbid, whoever, just chant for him, chant the holy name for him. And most importantly, if you can read chapter 15 and 12 of Bhagavad Gita every day, that will all add to his piety. And when you're doing this specifically for the Lord, it's extremely powerful. Sometimes it is even potent than almost every sinful activity he has done will be forgiven. We'll come to that. So once he will be taken to the court of Yamaraj, that is when you will be questioned with all the things which you have done. And based on the things which you have done, you will be either sent to the hellish planets, or you will be promoted to the heavenly planets. Right? So based on whatever activities you have done, let's say that you have done some austerity, you have done some pious activity, you have done some good charity, you have helped others. You've always been very truthful person. You're always very kind person. You're always very helpful person. You've always been a very honest person. So what actually goes higher? Always a scale. There's always a balance to see which actually goes up, which actually goes down. Let's say your good activities is having a more value or more volume or quantity than your bad things. Let's say you have been more helpful person, you've been more charitable person, you have been more, again, charity, very careful. If you're actually doing charity for name and fame, that will not be counted. If you're actually sincerely doing with your heart for helping others, that is only one counted. Don't cheat Yamadharma. Because he knows what is there. Because there are 12 sakshis. Whatever activities we are doing, there are 12 people who are witnessing what are we doing, including the Paramatma. When we are doing the charity, thinking that, okay, when you are giving the charity, $10, you will also put a big poster that donated by this person. What is the use of the charity? Why? Because the motive is not for the charity. The motive is what? To show our name.
Was
That
those
is
12 Sakshis, Prabhu?
Sorry?
Who are those 12 Sakshis?
The 12 Sakshis are like the Devatas, the sun, the moon, the then the Paramatma, then there are 12, we'll get to that. There are 12 Sakshis like that. I mean, whatever, the demigods, the super soul, the sun, the moon, the air, the 4 directions, all these are called the 4 Sakshis.
So they only witness, they don't direct.
They
don't
only
guide.
witness. Yeah, no,
They're just witnessing.
Yes. So based on that, he will get to know, okay, what are the good deeds, what are the bad deeds. And based on the scale of how much, whatever it is actually done more, based on that, he will be promoted to a thing or to the lower planets. Now, very, what is that called? Very sensitive part. If a person, again, don't kill the messenger, I'm just telling from the Garuda Brahman. If you have done no matter what activities, if you have done 1,000,000 good activities, austerities and everything, but he has eaten meat, then all these things will be nullified. This is not me, don't kill me. It is mentioned specifically cow. So that is the first and foremost regulative principle. So you should be very careful. Anyway, that's another thing. So based on that, he will be sent to the hellish planets. Hellish planets, that is when below the 7th planet, below the Patala is where there are 27 hellish planets. And the Garuda Purana gives a very descriptive, gory picture of what is this hellish planet. And each hellish planet has got each ways of punishing. From the moment we are actually soul and the 3 subtle bodies, right? Now the moment we are given the judgment and said that, okay, this person has done this and this is what he has prominently done, and let's say he has said that, okay, send him to Andhra Mishra, something like that. There are 27 hellish planets, so this person will be sent. At the moment he is actually go to the hellish planets, there is called the Vaitarani river. There is a river called Vaitarani, and this river is like full of unwanted things. Whatever bad, unwanted things you can imagine will be there in this river. You have to cross over that river, and once you cross over that river, you will get a body. You will get a body, and this body is called Yatana Sharira. What is that?
Torture body.
Yatana means what?
Torture.
Torture. Right? Now, what is the speciality of this Yatana Sharira?
It can still give you those senses of pain.
You won't
To that
The thing is like,
intelligence.
for example, if I'm actually cutting your hand
Yeah.
with a chop, the thing, what happens? Your hand will be cut off, and then you will get a pain. Let's say
Sense gratification.
you will get a pain of, let's say, whatever degrees of pain. 100. Let's put some number or some bogus number. Some 100 degrees of pain. Okay. Now, once in this yatana sharira, so of course we have a pain of cutting out the, when in this body, in this material body. But when it go to the yatana sharira, what happens is that your body, when you cut your hand will not be completely cut. It will come back, but the pain will be 1,000,000 degrees. The amount which we have here is 100 degrees. But when you just go there, it's 1,000,000 degrees. It's exponentially higher. Yatana Sharira is that your body will not get destroyed. Right? Let's say, for example, you are put into a grinder. There's a big grinder there, with 1,000 blades. When you are actually put your body into a grinder, what happens is that you will be suffering for maybe 10 seconds and you will be dying. But here you will be grinding for almost 3 months and your body will not destroy.
Yeah.
I'm not joking, it said that. There are so much, it's very gory and very graphic explanation of what this thing is. And after going through, there is a big frying pan like a puri. Each yatana sarira will be put in the puri and a nice puffed up puri will come out. And once this puri is taken out, the body will become normal. Again puri.
Prabhu, sorry to interrupt you, Prabhu. I was not there. Regarding what you are talking of, in hellish planets?
In the hellish planets, in the Garuda Purana, it is mentioned like that. So 27 different punishments. So there's a different topic. We don't have to go to that level. But again, so this is where it's happening in the hellish planets.
Each planet has the same?
No.
Different.
Each planet has got 27 has got different
okay.
punishments based on like
So
for
depending
example,
on where you will be gone.
based on like
special rooms for different punishments also.
so many things are there. I don't have to say that. End of the day, basically the lessons we have to learn is that try to be more pious, try to be more dharmic, try to be more God conscious person. Now when we are actually coming out of this place, right? Once we actually come out of this place after the punishment, it is said that this person will be reformed, ideally. Even if it is not reformed, the purpose is that this person should be punished for the things which we have done.
So when you're saying person, we're talking about this body
The soul I'm talking about.
soul,
the
right?
soul and
Okay,
the-
yeah, soul reference.
Person is always a soul we are talking about. When we are talking Bhagavad Gita, the person is soul. I'm looking at you as a soul. I'm not looking your
Now,
body as a.
what I'm trying to relate
No, I
is,
got your point.
yeah.
I got your point. I was just.
you don't remember your
Exactly.
material life.
Yeah.
But it's in your body.
But again, if you are not reformed, the purpose is that you will get punished. You will get punished. So one and the,
Sorry, those three subtle bodies, they are in that yatna shri, right? So your intelligence, your false ego, everything goes with the soul in that yatna shri.
yes.
So that always stays.
Always stays the moment till you actually get out of this material world. Anyway, so once you are actually done, you are actually given now your yatana sharira is gone, and then your three sins will actually go to a place called Pitruloka. It's called Pitruloka. And this Pitruloka is a place for waiting. It's called the waiting period. It's a waiting period for what? For getting another
New body.
Right? And again, for getting another body is also based on the karma which actually done in the previous thing.
But after punishment also.
The punishment is being given, but still the karma is there. Remember we're talking about the vasanas, the sanskaras. That sanskaras will actually drive you the next body. And if it is a animal body, then yes, you will get whatever animal body. But if it is a human body, then you will actually wait for the right person who is having that consciousness, the right lady who is having the consciousness. They come together. That is when they will actually, this soul will be attracted. It is said, this particular soul will be attracted at that point, and that's when this soul will take birth in the womb of that mother. And that's how this whole life and birth will actually take. And person who is actually going to heavenly planet, that is something different. And heavenly planets is another exactly opposite of that. What will happen in the heavenly planets? In heavenly planets, it said that we will get another body. And this body is 1,000 times more better in all aspects. Like our body will be extremely strong, our body will not be dying, our body will not get old, our body, it is said that our body will have fragrance. Our body will have natural fragrance, right?
Taste better.
Huh?
Taste better. Taste better.
Taste. Yeah, I mean, it has got all the good, what is that called, possible qualities, whatever we have.
What is this
And
body
they,
called? Like Yatna Sharir, what is this Sharir?
I don't know, that's a good question. That one is Yatna Sharir and this is called the Deva Sharir, demigod body. Let's take it that way. But anyway, they will have and then what happens is that the Yatna Sharir will actually have, it will take more pain, but here what happens is that it will actually can enjoy unlimitedly. Like for example, if I will give Sunny Prabhu 2 gulab jamuns, Sunny Prabhu will easily gulp it. Right away, no time. Okay, if I will give 2 more gulab jamuns, Prabhu will actually take it. If I give another 2 more gulab jamuns, Prabhu will say, done, it's okay. Done for today, not. But then if I just insist, then what he will actually still take. Now how many gulab jamuns already? 6 gulab jamuns. If I give 2 more gulab jamuns, what he will do?
I'll give it to Anshuman.
Then even if I just insist, he will with so much of difficulty, he will actually take 2 more gulab jamuns. Now if I give, how many gulab jamuns now? 8. Now if I going to give 2 more gulab jamuns, by seeing gulab jamun himself, he will black out. Why? Because his body is not able to take that. Right? This is our limitation. This is body. But when it comes to the demigod body, what happens is that you can take n number of gulab jamuns and you still not have any sugar problem, no cholesterol. You won't feel satisfied also because you can take n number of times. Gulab jamun is just a symbolic example, but you can just think about like all other possible enjoyment he can have in there, and all the facilities are there. So this is, I had a lot of other things to say, but then I'll tell one more story, the last story before going, the inevitability of death. There is one, this death is very inevitable for everybody. We cannot escape the death. There is one story in one of the Puranas. This is again, it's a fictional story for conveying a message. It's not a real story, but it's a fictional story, but it's given in the Shastras. Just to convey a message. There was a sparrow, right? And this sparrow was actually sitting on a tree. And then when he saw the sparrow sitting on the tree, and then he saw Yamaraj passing by. Who passing by? Yamaraj. And then Yamaraj saw the sparrow, and then Yamaraj was looking like this, and he was looking at the watch. Like he is confused. And when the sparrow saw that Yamaraj is actually looking at his watch and he's got confused, then the sparrow got frightened. He got extremely frightened. Why he got frightened? If anybody looks at you and confused, you are not bothered. But the moment Yamaraj looks at you and confused, then gas nikal gaya. Time ho gaya. So he was actually extremely terrified, and then he was, he thought like, okay, my time has come now. So he was praying sincerely to Garuda, right? He was sincerely praying to Garuda he was praying to Garuda. So Garuda came actually, and everybody know Garuda. Again, this is a fictional story, okay? No, not a real one, but just to show a lesson. So Garuda came and asked this little sparrow that, okay, what happened? And then this little sparrow said that, just now I saw Yamaraj, and I see that he is a little suspicious, and he was looking at the watch. Watch means like, you can make it up. And then he was, and I'm really feeling that my time is up. And then and Garuda said like, okay, if your time is up, then what can I do? This is a law of nature. I cannot break it. Even I cannot break it. I don't want to break it even if I can. But then please help me. I'm your younger sister. Please, 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 please help me. Then Garuda said like, okay, what should I do then? Then this sparrow said like, take me to a place wherein Yamaraj cannot reach. And then Garuda said like, okay, what is that kind of a place? Then the sparrow said like, no, take me to the extreme of this world. extreme place of this world wherein Yamaraj cannot reach there. And then Garuda said, okay, if that is what you wish, I'll take it. But I don't know, I'm not sure. But then the sparrow said, yeah, I'm sure. I am very sure about your strength and your capability. And I know that you can actually take me to a place wherein Yamaraj cannot reach there. So then Garuda actually took this sparrow. And you know the speed of Garuda, right? He just go in the speed of mind. He just flew to the extreme side of the world, and he just put that on the top of a tree. On the top of a mountain, there is a top of a tree, and he put that sparrow there. And once the sparrow was there, sure enough, somebody was waiting for them. Who was that? Who was that? Yamaraj was waiting. And Yamaraj was thinking, and then Garuda asked like Yamaraj, oh, we tried to escape you, but then you are here. And then Yamaraj was telling, see, I was just thinking, I was so confused. When I saw this bird at that place, I was just thinking like his time is up, but then how come this guy is here? He should be here at the top of this mountain at the end of the world. And I was just thinking, maybe the providence has lost his power. You know, there is no way this little bird can fly all the way. It will take his ages, or even he will lose his time. You know, he cannot reach this place. There should be something miracle happen so that this bird should come here, and the right time he should be with body and see the power of providence, right? So that's how it happened. So it cannot be. There was one guy called Nandulal. This Nandulal was a very good chef, cook. This Nandulal, so one sage actually visited his place. So Nandulal actually showed his hand and said, Guruji, can you tell me what all things showing in my hand? And then this saint told that your time is up, you are going to die very soon in 2 days. And then the Nandulal was actually become again, like this sparrow, Nandulal also become very afraid and frightened. So he thought like, okay, I will actually meditate on, or I will actually invoke Yamaraj, right? When Yamaraj come, I will actually trick him, right? So he actually prepared for Yamaraj to come. So right on time, at the second day, Yamaraj came. Again, this is all fictional story, there's no reference. Yamaraj came, and Yamaraj has a ledger. And this ledger has the list of the names. So Nandulal saw that he has got a ledger, and the next name is whose? His name, Nandulal's name. So what did he do? He's a chef, right? He's a cook. He made some nice prasadam, nice bhoga for Yamaraj. And Yamaraj said, I came to take you and you're offering me this thing? No, I wanted to please you. Before you take me, I want to please you. Okay? So Yamaraj said, fine. And Yamaraj was actually so pleased with him. And then after the prasadam, you will give lassi, right? So Nandulal actually gave him lassi with some kind of a sleeping pills in that. Right? So then Yamaraj actually took the lassi. And obviously Yamaraj will actually doze off. Right? And then what did he do? He actually looked at his name and he strike off his name and put the name at the last of the page. Right? So that way he wanted to trick the Yamaraj. So he said like, okay, my name will never come in the next 100 years because this is a huge ledger. So he strike off his name and put the name at the end of this thing. So Yamaraj, he woke up from the sleep, nice sleep after, especially after a nice dinner, lunch, you have that siesta, that sleep, right? He woke up and he said like, I'm so pleased. No one has ever treated me like that. Everybody is scared of me. But you are such a very special person. You have treated me like this thing. So I want to do a favor to you. I want to put your name at the end and take the first last name to the first name. So he took the name, whatever the name was just there in the front, to the back, and the last name to the, and what was the last name? Obviously, Nandulal. Srila Prabhupada ki, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki, Gaura Premanande.